Would you consider running again?
No.
Why?
Experience is the best teacher. I've come to realize that there are powers that you can describe as principalities that control Nigeria.
True.
And unless a major political party decides to adopt me, where you have a consensus of people who say, hey, DELE MOMODU is best suited to change and to lead Nigeria, then I can consider it. But if I would have to pick my money to go and buy a presidential nomination form of about 100 million sometimes, the last one, I spent about 50 million buying the form. Yeah, 50 million would have bought me a property, you know, and it was a waste. Nobody voted, not even one vote, because everything was monetized. There was one of the candidates who paid as high as $30,000 per delegate, and we had 774 delegates. Yeah. So how do you want to compete with them?
All right, now we see why the stakes are so high when it's election cycle. I did a quick calculation when we were talking about the figures. So at $30,000 per delegate, if we use the exchange rate at 1,700 naira, that's 51 million naira. Multiply that by the 774 local government areas is 39,474 million naira. And so you can imagine, and that's just for a primary, you know, a candidate, the amount of money they're spending. And that's why you can then understand why people would do anything during election, because when you invested this amount of money to run an election, then you want to win by all means, and then all means possible. And so just like Rufai had mentioned, if we don't check how monies are spent, and even where the money is gotten from in the first place, we're going to continue having challenges. I like that you used the American election as an example. But one of the clear difference, because they spend more money in America, well, in quotes, at least what we know. But the clear difference is that there's a trace and accountability of how the monies were raised. In fact, in some instances, you would actually see where some dubious characters contributed to a particular campaign, and it raises a lot of dust. But here, one person who has no pedigree, you don't know what he's been doing for the last few years of his life, comes up with 39 billion naira and no one is asking questions. EFCC is not on their case. You just make money just like that. So we don't ask critical questions. And unfortunately, the people have been bound in poverty such that they don't want to ask questions. They just want to see the 10,000 naira paltry sum in their hands, and then they mortgage their future for the next 4 years, and then they're lamenting if that person gets in. Because at the end of the day, it's business. We had a guest earlier on who said that there are three reasons why people go into politics. One of which is to get appointment. The other is to be rewarded. And I just thought to myself, there's nothing about service. Maybe I'm being too idealistic in terms of even putting, okay, yes, service, but also hoping that you get some form of reward. And that's why we've called for, let us reduce the monetary influence in politics in Nigeria. Perhaps we'll get a better outcome of our democracy. Let us investigate people who are able to afford, being able to pay for 100 million naira for delegate nomination form, and ask where the source of their money is coming from. What have they been doing? How can they justify them having this amount of money, or even reveal the people who've donated to their campaigns? If we don't address this at this level, we're going to continue to suffer with bad leaders and also bad governance in Nigeria.
All right.